Hello everyone, my name is Brian Yang. We are specializing selling mining machines. I am happy to talk to you today about investment is risk and the market is uncertain. The content of this video only represents my advice and cannot be used as investment advice. How the mining machine industry chain was formed. First of all, Bitcoin had experienced 5 years of development. In 2014, 5 years later, an industrial chain has begun to take shape, and it is also the first industrial chain that is the mining machinery industry, right? The mining machine industry has a complete set of upstream and downstream enterprises, and even some supporting enterprises. To produce a mining machine, there are probably 5 types of enterprises involved. First of all, the first is chip design, the second is chip factory, the third is package factory, the fourth is mining machine design, the fifth is mining machine processing, and so on. Their end consumers are a large number of miners on the market. That is, only miners will buy mining machines. Although virtual currency is the general trend, and of course it is the general trend at present, in the entire field of virtual currency, you can find that no country can really supervise this blockchain. This industry is also digital currency. This industry is difficult to regulate, right? So far, no country has regulated the Bitcoin mining industry. It experienced a wild growth in 2013. Of course, some people were happy and some were worried during this process, right? Let's take a look at one of its mining machine production processes. The first chip design. In fact, the chip design process is the same as many product design process. First, it leads to clarifying the function of the product. For example, let's say I produce this nail clipper, right? Nail scissors. Its function is cutting nails. Of course, mining machine also have one of their functions, which is mining. This is for this virtual currency mining machine, right? To be simple and clear, it is to provide computing power for a certain algorithm, such as Bitcoin's POW, such as Ethereum's POS, right? A series of chips are designed to support computing power, provide support for these algorithms, and provide them with computing power in order to realize this function. The design team may come up with multiple solutions and finally choose a feasible and most cost-effective solution. Then, in order to realize the design plan, the design team needs to refine the plan and decompose the implementation of a large function into several small functions. Finally, several small functions are combined to complete the design. This is his design process and how it is completed. As far as I know, this chip design requires about a dozen people. In 2014, they designed a chip. It only requires about a dozen people, and the working hours are probably between 3 and 6 months. Then the entire design process costs about $1 million. This number was revealed by a designer at the time, so the actual cost may be even lower. This is the process and data of this chip design, a rough data. Second, let's talk about this chip factory and this packing factory. First of all, the last step of chip design is the so-called tape belt. This process needs to be completed by the chip factory, right? It is worth nothing that tape-out is divided into two types. The first type is called multi-project sourcing. Multi-project sourcing, abbreviated as MPW, is to put a multiple integrated circuit designs with the same process on this unified chip for tape-out. After tape-out, each design can get dozens of chip sample experiment fee. The cost of this experiment will be shared by all projects participating in MPW according to the chip area. The other is the single project core source. There is only one chip on a wafer. After the chip design is completed, no one can guarantee whether it will work properly. So this must be the first step, right? After the MPW tape-out is obtained and the sample is obtained and there are no problems in the test, the full mask will be taped out, right? Moreover, the first full mask tape-out will only be produced in small quantities, and the packaging and testing will prove that the chip can indeed work before mass production. After mass production, it will be handed over to the packaging factory for packaging. What does this mean? In other words, a product will be mass produced only after it has been tested without any problems. For this reason, the price of chip tape-out and packaging is very expensive. The more advanced the process, the higher the price. Expensive at the same time. Price is also related to shipment volume, but mining machines are a special product. Basically, in 2014, the lifespan of each of their mining machines was only half a year. Therefore, the amount of chips produced each time cannot be very large. Although we cannot accurately calculate the specific price of this chip production, we can start from the operating mining IPO. An initial IPO and a financial situation at that time were announced. We can probably guess that signing a contract with a chip factory may cost several $1 million, right? The entire process may cost several $1 million. Let's talk about the design and the processing of this mining machine again. The mining machine design can be carried out at the same time as the chip. It can also be done by the same team under normal circumstances. This chip design team will also provide basic mining machine design solutions. But before getting samples, the team can use the simulation parameters of the chip to carry out layout and heat dissipation. Another thing is that the power supply design needs to be tested after getting this sample. If the sample test results are significantly different from the expected results, the design of the mining machine may lead to be redeployed, which is quite troublesome. Of course, I don't know how much about this. However, the design and processing of this mining machine should not require a large or very high technical content, and the design cost should be negligible compared with chip manufacturing. The above is just a brief summary of part of the mining machine industry. In the current wave of trends in the blockchain era, if you want to get into the mining machine industry and get opportunities, you can go privately and learn more about the details. Of course, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment area below, and we will discuss them together. That's it for this video. If this video makes you ever gain something, please give it a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.